Lord's Prayer and Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We're going to add something to the agenda here. We'll have the mayor will read a letter that we received recently.
Dated May the 1st, 2023, dear Mayor Mazel, Council President Malaruki, and fellow council members. I'm writing this letter to notify you that I'm resigning from my position in Napoleon City Council effective immediately. I value so much my time serving the citizens of Napoleon with all of you. I am taking my seat as a commissioner for Henry County with full confidence that you all will go on making our city a great place for those who live here and those who will inevitably be attracted to move here thanks to your important work. I'm honored to have had the opportunity to contribute to the cause over the last almost 6 years. I won't be far away and hope to continue to work with all of you in growing and strengthening Henry County for all of us. Thank you for all your support you have shown me as I move to this new position. All my best. Former council person, future county commissioner, Lori Sinclair.
All right. Lori, would you like to say any words here before then do we have to vote on this?
Yes, please.
So we can all vote no?
That should make it interesting.
Right?
I felt like I said everything in the letter, but
Yeah.
yeah, I truly mean it. It's been an honor working with each of you, and it's been a wild ride and a great education for me, and just a real privilege to serve the citizens the way that I've been afforded the opportunity to. And but I know that the city's in great hands with all of you, so look forward to seeing where Napoleon goes from here, and hope that in my position with the county now, we'll be able to work together and continue to work together. So thank you all.
Thank you for
Thank you, Lori. Hey, who wants to be the one to make the motion to accept that? I'll make that motion. I'll make it.
I'll third, yeah, like usual.
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Dan?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes. All right, this has been accepted. Thank you, Lori. Okay, moving
Should I
on.
veto it?
Moving on to item D, we're going to meet and greet Tim Schneider, Northwest Ohio representative from the office of U.S. Senator Vance. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mayor, did you want to say anything leading up to this?
Tim joined Andy, myself, and Kevin a couple weeks ago, and we just had a chance to visit for half hour, 45 minutes, I guess is what it was, maybe a little longer than that. And we kind of expressed kind of our concerns, kind of the same issues we took to Washington, D.C. And then Mr. Snyder kind of told us kind of where Senator Vance is feeling, kind of finding his way. And Tim's been in the, I'm not going to shoot you thunder here, Tim, but you've been on this side of stuff for a little while, not just your first time, so I'll let you take it from there. But thanks for being here, Tim.
Sure. Well, thank you, Mayor and members of City Council. As the Mayor stated, my name is Tim Schneider. I'm Northwest Ohio representative for U.S. Senator J.D. Vance. I've served our state and communities for more than 15 years, including roles with the Ohio Legislature, Congressman Bob Latta, ProMedica Health System, and the Toledo Regional Chamber of Commerce. So I appreciate this opportunity to join you all for an introduction. Senator Vance has established a regional office in downtown Toledo, which I manage, and is home base for me. This office serves an 18-county region stretching north to south from the Michigan border down to include Auglaize and Mercer counties, and west to east from the Indiana border over to include both Erie and Huron counties. Senator Vance was sworn into office on January 3rd. He's a native of Middletown, Ohio, which is a manufacturing town that has experienced a lot of the same economic challenges of many of our Northwest Ohio communities. He authored the story of his upbringing in a best-selling book titled Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir of a family and culture in crisis. Senator Vance says in representing the great state of Ohio that he will never forget where he came from. He's a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and served in the Iraq War. He also started Naraya Capital, which is a business making investments specifically directed at growing jobs and opportunity in America's heartland. Senator Vance's priorities include strengthening America's economy, improving our manufacturing base, opening up domestic energy production, lowering energy costs, fair trade with China, protecting our national security, and ending the flow of heroin and fentanyl crossing the border, along with others. Shortly after taking office, Senator Vance received his committee assignments. He serves on the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee, with subcommittees handling jurisdiction on securities, insurance and investment, housing, transportation and community development, and financial institutions and consumer protection. Senator Vance also serves on the Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee, with subcommittees handling jurisdiction on communications, media and broadband, oceans, fisheries and manufacturing, and space and science. He also serves on the Joint Economic Committee and the Special Committee on Aging. Senator Vance will be co-chairing the U.S. Senate's Great Lakes Task Force. His priorities in this role include fully funding the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, fighting invasive species like Asian carp, and ensuring the Great Lakes aging lock systems and infrastructure stay in good repair to allow for the passage of freight in support of our ports and our regional economy. Senator Vance is leading a number of actions in response to the train derailment disaster that occurred in East Palestine, Ohio. This includes introducing the Railway Safety Act, which will take key steps to improve rail safety protocols. This bill will enhance procedures for trains carrying hazardous materials, establish requirements for wayside defect detectors, create a permanent requirement for railroads to operate with at least two-person crews, and increase fines for wrongdoing when committed by rail carriers. Senator Vance and his staff recently marked 100 days in office. During this short time, the senator has introduced and/or co-sponsored more than 50 pieces of legislation. Our staff in Washington have held more than 500 stakeholder meetings, and our staff in Ohio have conducted nearly 600 constituent meetings. Thank you again for allowing me the opportunity to join you today and to introduce myself. Senator Vance and I look forward to opportunities to work together with you all in support of the residents of Napoleon. And I also want to thank the mayor and this administration for being proactive in reaching out to us and affording me this opportunity to give an introduction. And happy to hear of any priorities or issues I can take back to the senator. As the mayor mentioned, he had already teed up a conversation around the major priorities that you took to Washington with you, and happy to hear anything else you might have to say.
No, I just appreciate you coming. This is my 8th year being here. I think you're the first representative of a state senator to come, so appreciate you stopping by. I really do, yeah.
And I'll also add that this is my first introduction to a municipality since the senator has taken office. I've done addresses, introductions to other bodies of government, but this would be the first municipality in the city.
Tim, your area basically is the same as RGP, am I thinking that right? The Regional Growth Partnership, is that basically the same footprint?
Roughly.
Okay.
Yes, yep.
That's a question I have is, so if we do have some things that we want to get in front of Mr. Vance, do we contact you ahead of time, try to set up a meeting to go over some of those things, and then you forward them on?
Yeah, that's part of my job here in Northwest Ohio. I'm his representative to this 18-county region. So it can be, issues you want to bring to his attention. It can be legislative in nature, general outreach, an invitation for him to come to a site visit somewhere within Napoleon. So it's pretty broad. I would like to be that first point of contact and be available to leaders here in Napoleon. You can certainly feel free to reach out directly to our staff in Washington, but I'm the in-person conduit here for that, so happy to help with whatever I can.
Awesome.
Appreciate that very much.
You bet.
Anybody else have a question?
Got a small gift for him here, quick.
Okay. We'll bring it back here.
Something for your office there, Mr. Schneider, a little token of our appreciation, so. Okay. Oh, Campbell Soup, so there you go, so thank you so much, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, moving on to item E, approval of minutes from April 17th, 2023, regular council meeting minutes. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the minutes shall stand approved. Hearing none, they stand approved. All right, and moving on to item F, citizen communication. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address council, something that is not on the agenda, you can step up to the podium here. And please state your name and your address, and is there a form there for you to fill out?
Already did
as well?
it.
Okay, if you could just vocally introduce yourself with your address, please.
Thank you for allowing me. I'm Vicki Delventhal. I live at 704 West Washington Street. And my main concern here is as a taxpayer of Napoleon, I am totally against the up to $30,000 litigation that is going to help the Napoleon City Schools to litigate against the Cultural Center of Henry County. But I feel as being a taxpayer, I don't want to have anything to do with my dollars going towards that. I don't know if you can explain it to me that why my taxpayer dollars should go to that.
Council President Matt.
Yes.
Billy, if you need to stop me at any point, please do.
Sure.
Hey, Vicki. Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We've obviously talked previously, and we're on pretty opposite sides of this debate, I think. So I think for me, there was a couple points that I would just like to reiterate tonight. The first being, I think in talking about this project as a whole, the word voted with your wallet has come up a whole lot. And when I really thought about what does that mean, when I reflect about the board meetings that I went to for the CCHC, I think the current on-hand dollar amount at the time that I went was $24,000. To put $24,000 into a grand scheme of a target of $2 to $3 million, it is clear that the people of this community have decided that this is not a project that they want to support. With that being said, I felt it necessary, I'm not speaking for all of council, but I felt it necessary to get involved with this litigation piece to ensure that this building and this property do not become even more of a nuisance and safety hazard as they already are. The second point I want to make is the deadline to obtain an occupancy license was up 317 days ago for the CCHC. They've had 317 days to avoid litigation and to honor their contract and their word. To this point, they have not done so. So I appreciate your concern for taxpayer money. I would urge the board to look at themselves and say that they have an alternative option in their hand. And if they want to go a different route, maybe on day 318, they would decide to go that alternative route. But at this point, I do think that getting involved with the school board on this litigation is the best move.
I just don't understand why my taxpayer money is going to litigation for something the city has no part of.
Go ahead.
For us, it's a risk mitigation thing, Mrs. Delventhal. The risk is the CCHC does not raise the required money to rehabilitate the current property. And now we're 10 years down the road. And it's 10 years, and now nobody's mowing the grass. Nobody's pulling the
Excuse me?
weeds. And do you think, yes.
Nobody's mowing the grass?
In 10 years.
In 10 years, 10 years in the future. Now we're 2033, okay? And the grass hasn't been mowed, and the weeds haven't been pulled, and it's in worse condition then who's it gonna fall on to tear it down? The taxpayers of the city of Napoleon. And then who would it be?
The money is still there that was pledged initially for the demolition of that building.
Are we sure that amount is gonna cover it in 10 years? I'm not
Yes.
sure about that.
We've been guaranteed that they would still stand behind.
For 10
Demolition.
additional years,
Pardon me?
for 10 additional years, for 15 additional years, for 20 additional years. I'm having a hard time with that. I'm having a hard time with telling the citizens of Napoleon that we have an opportunity to use other grant dollars available that are available from the great state of Ohio to help us take this down, and say, no, we didn't take advantage of that, and now it's all in the city to take it down. 'Cause that's what you're gonna have then. 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And if you don't believe me, the Florida school just came down because nobody had enough money to tear it down. It became a big, big issue. And I really don't think that Napoleon, and I completely agree with what Councilman Durham said, I think people have voted with their wallets. We like the arts, but that building is the one that has to come down. I've been on that stage. I understand history. But for a group, for Napoleon to be 317 days past the due date and have offered no other resolution, what do you want us to do?
I am just concerned for our taxpayer dollars
Okay.
being paid
Okay,
against that.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't matter whether or not, I think as a taxpayer, I am not in agreement with up to $30,000 going to Napoleon City Schools, which already is gonna be paying litigation or taxpayer dollars. So we got our double tax dollars coming from two different funds in the city of Napoleon to go against that. And I just am totally against it.
okay,
That's all I gotta say. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, and just to continue on citizen communication, if there's anyone that is on WebEx that would like to address council on anything that's not on the agenda, you can do so by typing in the chat, and we will periodically check that. Okay, item G, reports from council committees. G1, the Finance and Budget Committee did not meet on April 24th, 2023 due to lack of agenda items. Item G2, the Safety and Human Resource Committee did not meet on April 24th, 2023 due to lack of agenda items. And item G3, the Technology Committee did not meet on May 1st, 2023 due to lack of agenda items. Item I, introductions of new ordinances and resolutions. I1 is resolution number 021-23, a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds in excess of $50,000 for the purpose of purchasing a vehicle for the City of Napoleon Electric Department and to award said purchase to utility truck equipment and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second?
Thank you, Council President. As discussed at the last meeting, this is for the purchase of a digger derrick truck for the electric department. It was not in the 2023 budget. The administration and staff had asked for it for the 2023 budget, but it was turned down by council. We plan to ask again in 2024, but this opportunity arose with utility truck equipment. The price for this particular vehicle is $309,845, and that's a $60,500 discount from the actual price of the truck. It is available now versus waiting years for a new truck. I invited Greg tonight to answer any questions you may have in regard to it, because I know he had the truck here last Tuesday or Wednesday. He invited me out, and they ran it through its paces. And so I'll invite you to ask Greg any questions you'd like to. In addition, I did have this. I should have included it in the packet, but this spells out very clearly here. Delivery of a new truck, approximately 1,460 to 1,825 days. If we were to order one after the first of the year, that's 4 to 5 years. So they're all custom made, and there's a waiting list. When I was at AMP a week and a half ago, I heard another gentleman say of a truck that was sitting out in the yard at AMP, if that was a digger truck, he'd steal it because they take so long to get. So I think this is a great opportunity, but again, I'll allow Greg to answer any questions you may have on it.
Okay, and did we also get a price on how much it would be if we ordered one right now with everything together?
I failed to mention no, the short answer, because I got a verbal, but nobody wanted to put it on paper, because I just, there's nothing in it for them, so they didn't expedite anything to me. But Bill Sesser is the state bid salesman, so the price that he quotes is the best price that we can get. And he quoted if we would order that truck and receive it in 4 to 5 years would be the 370. So this, and that's apples to apples. It's that truck that we're getting now. So we're getting a truck now that we're saving
$60,500.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's,
How old is one we're replacing?
hard,
The one we're replacing is,
18 years old,
and usually their end of life is 15?
10.
10, okay.
So, and I'm expecting, because the new trucks are so hard to get a hold of, we just put the old tree trimmer truck on gov deals, and I thought we were gonna get 10, we got 30. So I kinda anticipate even getting more for this.
Okay. And if we didn't pass this now, and then this was brought back to budget at the end of this year for next year, and then you tried to order it in January or February, I would assume that the price would probably go up even more at that time, and then the time to get it back could even be further.
Well, I don't know what's going on with Dave, but I heard the other day that the police cars they just canceled the orders, and I have a feeling that things are so far out, they're not even gonna be able to maintain the prices that were quoted, so they just say, we cancel your order. And so,
And then when you reorder, it's a lot more expensive.
yeah, I don't know what the
Yeah.
future holds is anybody's guess.
Okay.
So I'd like to make it clear that this legislation authorizes the purchase of the truck. It does not budget for it.
Right.
That was still to be discussed, was my understanding of it, when and how it was going to be budgeted. So it does authorize the purchase, but as far as budgetary matters, that still needs to be taken care of.
We could ask our finance director about that.
Sure.
I'm very comfortable with this purchase. This would be a second quarter budget adjustment. That fund in particular could absorb this amount. So I would be in favor of this passing to move forward. We would work it out.
Right. Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Dan,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe?
Yes. Okay, that will move on to second read.
Thank you.
Joe, that, we did take the truck out, it was here, the particular truck that we're gonna get,
Mhm.
and it did perform up to standard. So we picked up a 10,500 pound transformer, and if it wasn't gonna do it, I just was gonna say no.
Right.
So it did everything we wanted it to do.
Well, good. And you got to test it out before you buy it.
Test
also.
drive, yeah.
So I just wanted to assure you that about that.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay, moving on to item J, second readings of ordinances and resolutions. We have J1, ordinance number 017-23, an ordinance approving current June 2022 through February 2023 replacement pages to the City of Napoleon codified ordinances. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah, once again, this is just the semi-annual update to our codified ordinances from the American Legal Publishing. There are no changes to the legislation.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. Marissa, please call the roll.
Dan?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes. All right, that will move on to third read. Item K, third readings of ordinances and resolutions, we have none. Item L, good of the city. L1 is discussion or action, review of agreement for Northwest Ohio Special Response Team. We'll refer this to the Safety and Human Resource. Have any comments about it?
Just
No.
briefly, I received a contract from Chief Mack in regard to the new regional unit they want to form. And I felt I would be much more comfortable if it was reviewed by the Safety and Human Resources Committee prior to moving forward with it.
Anything you want to add to it, Chief, before it moves on?
Not really, just in general, it's something that's been kind of in the discussion of the area county, rural counties for about a year. It's been on and off, and it's just starting to get a little bit more traction, so I approached Andy on it. We've been asked by the area sheriffs to kind of be the point agency on it since we've had a team for quite some time.
Okay. All right.
So this isn't a man unit kind of situation where we send somebody off, and they're on our books, but they help regionally? This is something different than that? I don't steal the committee's thunder, Dan, I'm sorry, I'm just
Slightly
gonna.
different in the aspect of, they still are on the road,
Okay,
but they would have a special, like they are for our team. If there's a tactical situation, we would then backfill if they're on the road or whatever.
Okay.
It's not a change of personnel by any means.
okay, gotcha, okay, thank you,
So that's the short version.
okay.
All right.
Is that true?
It's pretty good. I appreciate it.
Thanks, chief.
Yes, sir.
All right, guess we just need to assign that to the Safety and Human Resource Committee, please. Okay, item L2, discussion and action to accept a donation from the Limbird Trust Fund for $3,750 for the purchase of the portable pitching mounds at Oakwood Park.
Yeah, this was received recently, and what they utilize these for are these softball diamonds, which do not have mounds built in, because softball pitchers don't use mounds. They can use these portable mounds to utilize those diamonds for senior little league as well. So the Limbirds brought this up to, the Limbird Trust brought this up to Tony and asked him if he was interested in this, and he graciously accepted with council's approval.
That helps you get a lot more baseball teams potentially to have a weekend there. Give a
Yeah,
lot more
and it'll
potential.
cover both the softball diamonds.
Awesome.
That's great. All right, who would like to make a motion to accept?
So move.
Second.
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Dan?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes. All right, that has been accepted. Item L3, discussion or action to accept the recommendation from the Finance Director to appoint Andrew Small to the Privacy Committee.
I can take that one, Council President. Yeah, we have a privacy committee that meets once or twice a year, And the committee members currently are Tony Cotter, Shannon Fielder, and then our third member was former city manager Joel Mazer. There's a requirement that you have to live within the city limits, which he no longer does. So I asked Andy if he would be willing to be a participant, and he has accepted. So I asked for a motion for his acceptance to be on the privacy committee.
Thank you.
May I ask a question? What does privacy committee all cover?
The privacy committee doesn't meet very often. It's usually like at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday during a week time. But basically, the things that we discuss are either any type of fraud cases, that there was any issues that we had within the city, that there was privacy matters that could have been affected. Typically, the things that we talk about is if there was like someone used a stolen credit card to pay for a utility bill, which we have had that in the past. Or we may see that like out at the golf course or the pool, so places that take electronic payments. Again, we're fortunate that we don't have a lot of incidences like that, but those are the things that we do have to go over and report and make sure that our policies are in place and we're followed.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. City Manager, are you good with that motion?
We discussed it prior to the meeting, so yes, I am.
The pay's pretty good.
And that's how he sold it.
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Dan?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes. All right, we'll go around the table here, and we would start with today. How about Molly today?
If there's nothing on the agenda for municipal properties, building, land use, and economic development, I'll cancel that. So-
We'll hold that thought till it comes to me, because I may add something to that.
Okay, all
Sorry
right.
about that.
No, you're good. That's all I had, though.
Okay. All right, Ross.
Nothing from me?
All right, I guess, one thing I have is, sorry to see, I think Lori's still there. She's directly behind you, Jen, hiding from me. Very, very sad to see Lori leave us. Her and I have worked together, on council for about the full time that I've been on. And just learned a lot from each other. Was able to bounce things off of each other, all throughout this time. I'm really excited for her new role. We're not really losing her. She's just gonna be a bigger piece of what happens here in Napoleon and Henry County. So thank you for your service, and thank you for the great you're gonna do in the future. So the item that I was talking about, you, Molly.
Yes.
I had someone reach out to me one day last week and then again today from the VFW. They would like to see if we can expand our NORA district to include them, and if so, what would we need to do to get that kind of started? So I didn't know if that goes to the municipal properties, because I believe that's where we started the whole NORA thing from the beginning.
Okay.
So,
No, I mean, we can go to committee.
you did bring it up, yeah.
If that's something we want to do.
So I wasn't sure, Billy, I didn't want to put you on the spot and say, hey, what can we do today, if you know?
Today, probably nothing, but yeah, if you would send it to committee, then I'll attend that committee meeting with a little more recollection as to how that process goes. It's been a little bit, and I don't remember.
Right, I didn't expect you to, so I figured we'd assign it to, would that be municipal properties?
I think that would, yeah.
I thought that's where we started it originally.
Yeah.
Before you do that, was Lori on that committee?
Yeah, she was.
Okay, you're not gonna have quorum,
Right.
because I'm not gonna be here. So you can have two people, I'm not gonna be here. And for a meeting of 4, you're gonna have more than 2
Yeah.
to have quorum.
Well,
So
we can
you-
have someone stand in.
You could, or you could simply wait until the next meeting. It's up to you.
I just don't want to set you guys up for failure, right? Where's you guys at? Where's you guys at?
You can't have somebody stepping up for quorum.
I think that council president could assign somebody in advance. I mean, just on the spot, bringing somebody in off the street, likely not, but.
Right.
I know they're interested in getting it moving before the, you know, nicer weather and different things going on. They just felt like they're close enough to have people, go spend money at their place.
Right.
And they just wanna. if we can get-
Right, I'm just trying to, I just don't wanna,
Yeah.
that's all I'm trying to say, right,
Yeah.
so.
So I can appoint somebody if somebody wants
I
to
think you
fill
can
in?
appoint somebody provisionally to stand in so
Okay.
that you can achieve quorum, if that's the route you want to go.
Okay.
Because the other thing you could do is, you could do a meeting prior to next council meeting.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, you could probably do that too. I mean, you could change the meeting time and date too.
Yeah, there's all kinds
It's
of,
really,
I'm not,
it's fairly flexible.
however you wanna do it, I'm just,
Right.
right,
And that might work better, you know, as far as
Yeah,
getting
that might work
information.
better.
wanna do it that way?
Yeah, let's just change the meeting. So you need it done,
So we do it like, 6:30 on the 15th?
Just right before the meeting
Right
starts.
before,
oh, yeah, that, disclosure.
you're not gonna be here.
Well, I'm getting a root canal that day, so I'm
Oh,
hoping I will be here.
see the issues you're causing?
So, I'm hoping I'll,
yes or no.
yeah, I'm hoping I'll be here, but I don't,
Okay.
yeah. Ah, Can we look at dates and get back to it, or do we need to do it tonight?
We can always,
I'd say
Adjust.
schedule it sometime in the future after everybody's had a chance to look at their schedule.
Okay,
we'll do that.
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Do we need to have Chief Mack bring something here to test her blood level
Likely,
with,
yeah.
They said it's just local.
Okay. Okay, good. That'd be great. Okay, and that's all I had. Mr. Mayor?
Lori, what Joe said, thank you very much. What the county is gaining, we're not even losing, we're just temporarily placing someplace else for a little while. And I felt the same way when Jeff Myers left us and went there, that I'm very, very excited for you, very, very excited for him, and obviously congratulations to you, thank you so much. And we will not find somebody to replace you, that's not possible. We'll just have to teach them kind of the way, hey, Lori would have done it this way, so do it different. So. Andy, do we have an idea when the boat ramp might be coming in?
Yeah, I spoke with Tony just today. He spoke with Sean. There's a large tree that's lodged down at the west pole.
Okay,
And of course, debris is collecting there. They plan on either later this week or first of next week, getting somebody down there that can pull that tree up and out of the water.
Okay.
To either let it float away or get it out of there altogether.
okay,
Once that's out of there, they will place the docks, just two of the docks, the two that are closest to the boat ramp itself.
okay,
And also the docks over at Overhouse.
okay,
And then in the near future, prior to Memorial Day, they will have the rest of the docks placed and then the ramps going down. The ramps going down require a crane, and so we'll have that lined up once everything else is in place.
okay. So late next week, late this week, later next week,
Is a start.
Start,
Getting some
okay.
docks in next to
Okay.
the boat ramp.
okay.
Speaking of Memorial Day, have you heard anything yet about?
The ceremony's as is usual for Memorial Day, so it'll start at the boat ramp at the typical time and then up to the memorial at the same kind of time, yeah. Yeah. Was contacted late last week. Yeah, it was late last week. Congressman Latta's gonna be in the area tomorrow, so he's gonna stop by here around 9:00. And they'll just be finishing staff, so we'll introduce him to staff so that he gets an idea of some of our great people and what they do day in and day out for us and how they use some federal programs too, so you can kind of see that at the local level. So have about 30 minutes to spend with us. But then we can do with that. We may rehash some other things that we talked about when we were in DC, but I know he's going to be on a pretty tight schedule, so I'm going to just kind of introduce him to staff. That's kind of the idea. So that's cool. And those are two things that I had.
Thank you. Hey, Dan?
Well, the only thing I have is basically what's already been said. Lori, we are going to miss you. Your commitment to the city and your now commitment to the county is very definite. and I wish you the best over there. Since my office is in the courthouse, so I expect to show up when you are installed over there. But, yeah, we are going to miss you here, but congratulations on receiving that appointment, and good luck in that new position. That is all, sir.
Okay, thank you. Ken?
He just said it.
Dr. Dave?
Water Sewer Committee has no agenda items, so we will not be meeting. I'm just reiterating what a lot of other people said. Lori, you've done an excellent job on this council. From the short time I've gotten to know you, I can't think of a better person to move on to that position, and I look forward to it.
Thank you. Hey, Billy?
Best of luck to Lori, and I have nothing additional.
Okay, thanks. Andy?
I've got a couple of things. The OMEA requires a resolution that designates a member or a delegate to the OMEA board. That resolution was passed 2 years ago, and Lori was the delegate, Napoleon's delegate. I know Ross is serving as the delegate when he goes to the conference this summer, the annual conference this summer. And I don't know if he was the one or who you would like to have serve as the OMEA delegate for the city of Napoleon.
I
And
would
then,
like to make the motion that Ross would take that position.
okay. And then, I'm sorry, go ahead. You need a second, I guess.
I'll second that.
Okay.
We're not gonna ask you if you want or not.
I would love to.
Then legislation will be, the legislation will be revised or reintroduced with Ross as the delegate.
So I guess we're directing the law director to draft some legislation.
That's what I heard.
Yes.
As previously.
That was my motion.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks for reading my mind, Billy. All right, Marissa, please call the roll.
Dan?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
I'm
Anything else?
sorry, you're waiting for me. Next item is, we received a request for a pole attachment agreement from M2X Communications. And I would like to have this sent to the Electric Committee and the Board of Public Affairs for review. We currently have 5 different contracts for pole attachments with 4 different prices. So I would like both of those, the Electric Committee and the VOPA to review that and help come up with a price for M2X Communications. And I suspect there may be another in the near future too, that we will do the same thing, so I think it's important that we set a price.
Okay. Marissa, can you get that added, please? Thank you.
And then finally, I know Councilman Hayes, on a couple of occasions, asked about the Henry County Transportation Network and their assistance during the closures of both Oakwood and Route 108. I was able to speak with Jeff Tamarin from the Henry County Transportation District, and he said they will make an effort to put things on social media to help. He said their ridership usually uses either social media or WNDH, and he will use both of those methods to get the word out. At the same time, I told him, once again, I will work with our local media to get the word out as best as possible. I said, I'd rather say we're gonna get a snowstorm and get flurries than the opposite, so I want to try and get it out there as much as possible. But I was able to finally communicate with him. He was good to work with. I guess that's all I had. Of course, I did ask for an executive session to discuss matters of competitive nature relating to city-owned or operated utilities.
Okay. All right, thank you. And Kevin?
Andy, just for clarification, do we need to also appoint an alternate for the OMEA board?
The way the legislation is written, it does not speak to an alternate.
If not, that's fine.
Municipality also desires to provide for the appointment of an alternate representative to serve on the OMEA Board of Directors, but it doesn't specify who that alternate is.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure before when you enact the legislation that.
We have to bring it back 2 weeks later with
Yeah.
somebody else for the
Would
alternate?
just say who's the alternate.
It's very, very vague.
Okay, perfect. Great.
We'd be able to amend that next week. So if we wanted to add that to.
If you wanted to add an alternate name, or now, you could do that now, or you could move to amend on first read, and that wouldn't slow the legislation down any.
Okay. Want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I have nothing. I'm good. I don't, we're missing somebody. I don't remember who was there in
Right.
that seat, but
Yeah.
that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Okay,
Take a mulligan.
oh yeah,
Now
Mayor
that-
has a mulligan.
Sorry, now that we've accepted Lori's resignation, do we gotta tell the Republican Party that we have an open spot?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So we'll take care of that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And Billy, for the record, you know off the top of your head how that process works?
Vaguely, I do, but, I mean, I will inform them if I recall. Yeah, it's.
Andy knows.
Okay,
Look
or
at that,
Andy,
read it.
yeah, if you would read it, just for the record.
If a vacancy occurs on council and within 30 days thereafter, those central committee members living in the city from the same political party as a vacated member at the time of his or her election or appointment may recommend to council a person to fill the vacancy for the unexpired term. If a person is so recommended, he or she shall not become a council member unless approved by council. If no person is so recommended by such central committee members, or if a person so recommended is not approved by council, council may select another replacement within 15 days. If council fails to select another replacement within 15 days, the mayor shall select a replacement. If the person to be replaced ran as an independent or third-party candidate at the time of his or her election or appointment, the replacement shall be selected by council. But if council fails to select a replacement within 30 days after the vacancy occurs, the mayor shall select a replacement. So, that's it.
Okay.
That's from the charter.
Yep.
Right. Thank you very much.
Well said, Billy.
That's about what I was gonna say, not so many words.
I also had the thought, we just assigned something to the electric committee for next week. We don't have a chair for electric committee. Can just one of the sitting
Yep.
members?
Act as
Okay.
chair, yep.
Sounds good.
All right. I know it's golf season, but any more mulligans out here? All right, we'll move on to item M, executive session. Could I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss matters of a competitive nature relating to any city-owned or operated utility?
A motion.
Second?
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Dan,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
For discuss matters of competitive nature relating to city-owned and operated utility.
Absolutely.
That's a great impression. I don't know how you did that, Ross. Almost sounded like you came out of Joe. It's the same kind of thing those guys are doing. That's pretty impressive.
I'll second.
Stereo. Hey, Marissa, please call the roll.
Dan,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes. Okay, no action taken there. Item N, approve payment of bills. In the absence of any objections or correction, the payment of bills shall
I do
stand
have,
approved.
I have a question.
Okay.
Page 3,
Molly, can I see that?
third one from the bottom, what's that Civica? Civista Bank?
Annual recurring cost to Civica North America.
Yeah.
That is our budgetary, utility, payroll, and our inventory program that we use.
Okay.
Civica is short for CMI, so those are the
all right.
programs that we use.
Okay.
Civica is short for whatever
CMI?
CMI stands for.
Right.
Civica Management or
It's
something,
longer
yeah.
than CMI.
Civica North America, but that's what that is.
All right. That's all I have.
Okay.
Question.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll stand approved. How about a motion for adjournment?
I'll motion.
Second.
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes.